Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. You know I love indie makeup. Some would say to a frightening extent, so I am constantly adding to my hoard, like Smaug. It's disturbing. But when Gloss Gods came out with their new Changing Skies collection, I kinda had to get it. Full disclosure, I am a Gloss Gods ambassador, so basically I get like an affiliate code to save you money. I make a little commission off of that, so bear that in mind, okay? Always be wary of what people are saying. I do literally have a horse in this race. But I got the new Lavender Skies palette and the Colour of Rain. Now the deal is, this one is a lot more mattes. There are some multi-chromes, and this one is essentially predominantly multi-chromes, and there's just one matte, which is a black. So I figured the two of these together, because they did come out at the same time, would make for a really, really interesting eye look. And that's actually what I did. Now, obviously, you're thinking to yourself, Teresa, that's all well and good, but what do the palettes look like? Don't worry, my impatient friends. This is what the palettes look like. So this is the Lavender Skies, and this is the Colour of Rain, and they are both stunning. So this video is essentially a tutorial of this look. It's very, very simple. Don't worry, we'll run through it together, and some swatches, because that's the thing we're really interested in. And of course, a review of what I thought of both of these palettes. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, then do please keep on watching. Is this your favorite part of the video? Because it low-key is mine. This is where I'm going to swatch the Gloss Gods palettes. And this is a little shout out to Buttons, who was like, you need to swatch all of the Gloss Gods palettes on your face. Okay, Buttons, I'm only doing two because although I am a fat woman, my face is not big enough to have all of the Gloss Gods palettes on at the same time. But I will try my absolute darndest. I'm going to start off first with the Lavender Skies, and we're going to do it kind of row by row. So that's the Lavender Skies palette swatch. You can kind of see some of the multi-chromes there, that one in particular. It's beautiful. But now I'm going to swatch the Colour of Rain palette. So that is it. I do feel like the two palettes go together really, really well, but let's be real. The Colour of Rain, oh, that is special. I'm gonna get a flashlight now on my phone so you can see it a bit better. You can really appreciate the sparkle here. They are so pretty. Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. I'm going to take a weird picture of myself like this and send it to Buttons. Hurrah! But the next bit is just essentially a tutorial and a review of the two palettes. That is what's coming up next, and I hope you enjoy it. My insomnia has really been kicking in recently, so that just leads me to, at what point of the night? 10 to 1, decide to do makeup. Whatever, look, I've wanted to play with these for a while, so we're gonna get into it. I have this Cash Beauty brush. It came as part of the Colour Trip set, and I'm going into the shade First Light as part of the Lavender Skies. And I'm doing that thing that I said that I was doing in the last couple of videos of patting it out on like a palette first. I'm using a resin palette, but you could use anything really. Like you could use plastic or whatever, it's fine. This, for a very pale sort of a shade, has a lot of pigment. Gotta say, I'm quite impressed with this. Now, if I'm 100% honest, the Lavender Sky story, like colour story, didn't appeal to me as much as the Colour of Rain. However, the Colour of Rain isn't something you can use necessarily all by itself to make like a full look. You could, because there's like multi-chromes in it, and you could just be like, bam, that's it. But you know me, you know that I like to do a little bit more than that, so I actually feel like when you put the two of them together, you get a very cohesive look. So all I'm doing at the moment is just kind of laying down that shade, kind of all along here and down there. It's actually not too bad. And do you know what? Do you know what's annoying, right? I just kept adding to this. I ended up like freestyling these like little stars. And I was talking to my friend Daniela and she was like, oh yeah, like some people don't even freestyle those. They use stencils. And I was like, I could have used stencils. I could have used stencils. I didn't. I fucking freehanded them like an idiot. Which, by the way, if you've watched me for long enough, you will know that I just cannot see what I'm doing. I love that I'm looking towards the mirror as if I can actually see what's happening. I can't. I truly can't. I really should see about getting stencils, but I do like kind of challenging myself to try and do stuff like as freehand as possible. It's tricky, but I feel like it's good for me, you know? So you can see, even though it's a pale shade, it does pack quite a punch. It's quite deceptive. You really wouldn't expect that for such a light shade. But I'm building this up a little bit more, and I'm using this blank canvas E10, and I'm going into the shade Purple Rain. And honestly, friends, if Prince didn't pop into your head right there, I don't know if we can be friends. Purple Rain. I mean, I'm just saying, look at this. Again, lovely pigment on this. Now, what I did again is just popped it onto the palette as well, because I will say these are a little bit kick-uppy. Nothing major, but just if you want to avoid fallout and just kind of flinging your shadow all over the place, I would highly recommend just like tapping it off or just considering how best to disperse it. You can see already it does blend really quite nicely. And I'm like, it's such a simple one this time. Like, I am lazy as fuck, but whatever, it's 10 to 1. Like, I have excuses. I can do whatever I like. And I'm just kind of popping it around there and following the socket of my eye. Such a weird, like when you think about it, that we have power sockets and then we have eye sockets. How are the two of those connected? It's very strange. Language, odd. Very, very odd. So I'm just sweeping back and forward, just building that up. And again, you can see, hopefully, that it does blend quite nicely. But you would expect that. I mean, they're of the same colour story. However, I appreciate how kind of brave they were with this, because purple is so difficult to formulate. But I do have a gripe. Their Vintage Glam palette is another purple palette of theirs, and I fucking love it. I think it's amazing. But it's not on their site at the moment. And I asked them when they're getting it back, and they were like, we don't know. Guys, I really hope they bring it back, because it's like really up there in terms of my faves that they have. Just saying. I love that I'm doing all of this, and I plan on doing like 2 videos after this. We'll see if I actually manage to do this. But essentially, no one is going to see this except for you guys. And that's if I just like even have the energy or can be bothered to edit. I will be washing my face off after this. Cece will see it actually, and maybe Darcy if he hasn't run off outside. But Sahil won't. He's currently, I can actually hear him snoring. He is such a good sleeper. I envy him so much. I can't sleep most of the time. I've horrendous insomnia. So bad. I'll say it, I like how easy a blend this actually is. It's making my life a little bit more simple. I'm using this Cash Beauty brush, and I'm going into Purple Storm. I am, again, just kind of following along there and just kind of bringing it a little bit further down. You know, just building up that depth and smoking it out a little bit. I know, it's so complicated. Who would have thought? But I am really trying to choose like the more difficult shades to see how they're actually operating. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on Gloss Gods, like they don't really recognize how good a brand this actually is. And also, I just realised that when I sat down to film, I have my Stockholm t-shirt on. And Gloss Gods is a Swedish brand. Kismet. Absolutely love it. I didn't even think of that. I just kind of grabbed a t-shirt that I was like, oh, okay, I don't mind getting like makeup and stuff on this. So I kind of love that actually. I was obviously like some amount of like subliminal thought in there because I knew I was going to use this palette. But look at how easily that all kind of smooks out. I love it. bring a little bit under the lash line because let's have a little bit of drama. And then I have this little Zoeva tiny fan brush and I'm going into the shade Dreamscape. Now, as is usually the case with Gloss Gods, their kind of shimmery metallic-y formula is always like insane. So I patted off a bit of this onto the palette so it isn't as wabam, because I literally just want it like skirting around like the brow bone. I don't want anything massive. I just want like a soupçon of shim. Oh, but fuck me, that's gorgeous. Oh, she's so pretty. I'm saying this about the shimmer, not about myself. And here's the shimmer just by itself. I mean, look, you could just shove that onto your eye and call it a day. Like, it's beautiful. Like, seriously. You can't tell me that isn't beautiful and that you don't want that in your life. It's fabulous. We're now switching things up and we're using the Colour of Rain palette. I'm using one of the Blend Bunny brushes and I'm going into Storm Cloud. Now this arrived slightly damaged when it came here, but I was like, screw it, it's fine. Now, this is a very, very like pigmented black, okay? So you don't want to like bang it straight on the eye or you're going to be like panicking and trying to disperse it. So do the thing that I was telling you to do before, pat it off here. Because look, do you see the amount that comes off, right? Otherwise, it ends up being a world full of trouble that you do not want. So I'm starting off here just on the outer corner. Do you see how much even pigment I'm already getting? Having tapped that off. So you can imagine if I'd just gone straight in, we'd have had a terrible time of it. So this one I will say, because obviously it's a black, you need to take your time in terms of blending it and having it kind of merge with the purple. But I feel like it actually looks so pretty over here. Like it worked really, really nicely. So it is just like spend a little bit of time. Nothing major, but a little bit of time. And always try to make sure that you're not putting on like too much black shadow. Like tap it off. Because like you can always add on more, but it's very difficult to take it away. That's my general advice here. If you want advice. Not that I'm great at advice, but you know, I'm just kind of working it into the socket there, into all those folds of skin, you know. Oh, I'd love a blepharoplasty, but I'm not sure if it would work with my kind of weird astigmatism. In case you're wondering, a blepharoplasty is like basically like an eyelid lift type thing where they get rid of like excess skin. Just beware, this is like my nighttime musings. This is literally the way that my brain operates. It's just me thinking really stupid shit to myself at like 1 in the morning. And this is why I can't sleep, because I have silly thoughts like this wandering around in my noggin. So enjoy. But I kind of want to keep you here for as long as I'm doing this black so that you can see that it is actually quite easy to disperse if you just give that attention and don't whack a big chunk on in the one go. Now the reason why I'm putting on the black is not just to like smoke it out and help out that transition to the purple, but because I'm going to put on this stunning multi-chrome from the palette, the black acts as a really, really nice base for that as well. And that's part of what I really appreciated in the Colour of Rain palette, that they had that matte black in there. Now, the one thing I would have done slightly differently is you're going to use that matte black an awful lot more than each of the singular shades, because, you know, it can be used in conjunction with those shades. I would have personally made like a long pan of black, but that's me being really like really pernickety. That's totally unnecessary. And now I'm just taking this Zoeva 225. I don't have anything on it. I'm not going to take anything on it. And I'm just going to disperse that a little bit more, because I find that this is like one of the best ones for kind of dispersing out black and just making it a little bit kind of more easily blended. But I mean, this is like, it's such a simple look. Apart from the weird fucking free-handed stars. I don't know. That was a really weird morning time, late night decision. But let's get to the good part. We're going to play with the multi-chrome. And the multi-chrome I actually went for is the shade Water Prism. And my God, is it gorgeous. Let's put a little bit on the finger. And hopefully you can kind of see it there. I'm going to swatch it just on my hand here. so you can get an idea. That's it without like a black base. I just think that is stunning. I can't cope with it. But what I'm doing now is just taking it on the finger, because I find that these are best applied with a finger. Plus, it means there's one less brush to actually wash. And I'm just gonna, look at that. Oh, the camera probably isn't even picking it up, but there's this purple to pink to bluey green sort of finish there. And it is just molten gorgeousness, and I cannot cope with it. It's so beautiful. So all I'm doing then is just taking this Morphe M562 and just dispersing it ever so slightly. I'll be honest, I'll probably pop a little bit more of this over on the other side, because I think I dispersed it too much. I think I want to have it be this like molten deliciousness. It's stunning. Ugh, hate it. God damn you, gloss guys. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Okay, I did it. I added more to the other eyelid. That's essentially it. I'm just going to add on a little bit of like a navy eyeliner down at the waterline. I'm going to use this. It's the Too Faced Killer Sapphire, and kind of smoke it out a little bit. And obviously add on some gems. I can't help it. It's an illness at this point. And I'm going to try and do... I'm going to try and recreate what I did over here. Are they going to match? No, but we'll give it a go. Let's see how I get on. Did I manage to get both eyes to match? No, not really, but fuck it, whatever, it's fine. It's now like 2 in the morning, so I really don't care at this point. I will zoom you in now so you can see what the finished eye look looks like. So as you can see, it's super, super simple. I added in some gems into those kind of like weird star thingies. But honestly, when you have a multi-chrome like this, you don't really want to be messing around with anything else, because that in itself is the true showstopper. Like, it is so pretty, and you can really see, hopefully, some of the shifts. It's so beautiful. All in all, I'm actually quite happy with how this came out. It's a slightly more reserved look for me, but I do quite enjoy it. Now let's talk about the palettes themselves. I'm going to start off with the Lavender Skies. This one, as I said before, is very, very matte heavy. There is 4 shimmers, and then the rest are mattes. I do feel like this one should be considerably cheaper than the Colour of Rain. That's a me opinion. I don't know if it is on the site. I can't quite remember. Editing Teresa, let us know. Is it cheaper? Who knows? I was surprised, because honestly, if I look between this and the Colour of Rain, this one didn't interest me as much in terms of the colour story. I was kind of like, I could take it or leave it. But actually using it, I was quite impressed. The purples just really work really, 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 really well. So if you're looking for a nice purple palette with good mattes, ooh, this will do quite nicely. I was really, really impressed. Now, I feel like they've maybe kind of changed around their matte formula. I've always liked their matte formula, but I feel like this is like better than what they've done before. So I'm quite happy with this. In terms of giving a rating out of 10, I would actually give this a solid 8 out of 10. Is it my absolute favourite colour story? No. I actually think out of all of the Gloss Gods, this is like my least favourite, but it's still a lot better than a lot of other things. So I'm like, okay, I really like this. I would have liked a few more multi-chromes in there, but again, that's me being really pernickety. But I do enjoy this, and I do feel it's a very good companion palette for the Colour of Rain. So this isn't really a standalone palette. It could be if you're just kind of like banging on one multi-chrome or putting on the black and then a multi-chrome. So I think it does work very, very well as a companion with Lavender Skies. This is where I really feel they have shone. Like, the multi-chromes in this are spectacular. They are so good. I have a couple of other like multi-chrome palettes that I used to use a lot, but I'm thinking of kind of getting rid of them. And I think this makes me feel a lot more confident about getting rid of those particular palettes, because the more of these sort of formulas that I see from Gloss Gods, love, 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 love it. Yeah, this is like an 11 out of 10. Absolutely love it. It's not a one and done palette, but I think if you like the colours from this and you feel like you will get use out of it, you are going to enjoy it. Trust me, I just think it's stunning. Again, take everything I'm saying with a pinch of salt. I am a Gloss Gods ambassador. I literally have a horse in the race. If you buy something using my affiliate link and code, I make like a little bit of a commission off of it, and I get percentages off myself. But I did buy all of these with my own money. So, you know, make of that what you will. I personally love them. The big question, as always, is if these disappeared from my collection, would I repurchase them? Hells yes. I absolutely would. I think these are fabulous. Really, really like them. But anyways, my friends, that is the end of this particular video. We did quite well, didn't we? Pat on back, cup of tea, little biscuit, hooray. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell, because honestly I get lonely and I like it when you guys watch. I need the validation, you know? And do please share, because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case just wrap it up, don't be gross. But that's it, that's the end of this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.